The crystalline chambers of the Zephyrian High Council hummed with electric anticipation as Supreme Commander Vexari reviewed the final battle projections. The holographic display showed Earth's blue marble suspended in space, surrounded by a crimson fleet of 1,000 warships, the pride of the Galactic Dominion. "The calculations are precise," announced Chief Strategist Morthak, his 6 eyes gleaming with satisfaction. "Based on their primitive technology and limited resources, human resistance will crumble within 4.7 standard hours. Their largest cities will surrender by dawn." The assembled council members, representatives from 12 conquered worlds, nodded in agreement. They had witnessed this scenario countless times before. Species after species had fallen before the Dominion's might, their civilizations reduced to footnotes in galactic history. "Humans show no signs of advanced quantum weaponry," reported Intelligence Chief Keelara, her tentacles dancing across the data streams. "Their most sophisticated vessels barely achieve sublight speeds. Their ground forces still rely on chemical projectiles. It will be a massacre." Supreme Commander Vexari felt the familiar surge of conquest hunger coursing through his exoskeleton. The humans had been observed for decades, catalogued and analyzed down to their genetic markers. They were young, aggressive, and technologically inferior, perfect candidates for either slavery or extinction. "Begin the final approach," Vexari commanded, his voice echoing through the war chamber. "All battle groups, assume attack formations. Today, we add another world to our empire." The massive fleet descended toward Earth like falling stars, their weapons charging with deadly purpose. Long-range scanners detected frantic human activity, ships scrambling from orbital stations, emergency broadcasts flooding their primitive communication networks, population centers initiating evacuation protocols. "Sir," called communications officers FYN, "we're receiving a transmission from the humans. They're requesting negotiations?" A chorus of amused clicks and hisses rippled through the council chamber. Several members' breathing apparatus wheezed with what passed for laughter among their species. "Put them through," Vexari said, his mandibles clicking with anticipation. "Let us hear their desperate pleas before we crush them." The main screen flickered, revealing a middle-aged human female in a military uniform. Her dark hair was pulled back severely, and her eyes held an unsettling calmness that somehow made Vexari's warrior instincts prickle with unease. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Force," the human said, her voice steady despite the approaching armada. "We know why you're here, and we're prepared to offer you something better than conquest." "Speak quickly, human," Vexari growled. "Your planet has minutes before we surrender," Admiral Chen interrupted. "Completely and unconditionally. But have one request." The council chamber fell silent. This was unexpected. Most species fought to the bitter end, or at least attempted some form of resistance. Complete surrender before the first shot was fired? It was almost disappointing. "Continue," Vexari said, genuinely curious. "We want to demonstrate something first. A gesture of goodwill. May we show you what humans do when we're backed into a corner?" Chief Strategist Morthak's sensors detected no military buildup, no hidden fleets, no weapon signatures. Whatever the humans were planning, it posed no threat to their overwhelming superiority. "Very well," Vexari decided. "You have 60 seconds. Admiral Chen smiled, an expression that, oddly, made several council members shift uncomfortably in their command chairs. "Thank you. Computer, initiate Protocol 7. For a moment, nothing happened. The Dominion fleet continued its approach, weapons systems fully charged and ready. Earth hung in space before them, apparently defenseless. Then the first explosion bloomed like a miniature sun. What Morthak began, but his words died as his scanners went wild with impossible readings. The explosion hadn't come from any human weapon. It had come from within the Dominion fleet itself. Ship after ship began detonating in chain reactions, their own power cores overloading in perfect synchronization. The mighty dreadnoughts, vessels that had crushed entire civilizations, cracked open like eggs, their hulls peeling away in brilliant cascades of metal and flame. "Impossible!" Keelara shrieked, her tentacles writhing in panic. "Our systems are completely secure. No primitive species could. Ah, Admiral Chen's voice cut through the chaos, still maddeningly calm. You see, that's where you made your first mistake. You assumed we were primitive. The holographic display showed more than half the Dominion fleet already destroyed or crippled. The remaining ships found their own systems turning against them, weapons targeting their sister vessels, life support failing, navigation computers sending them on collision courses with each other. 67 years ago, Admiral Chen continued as explosions painted the void in orange and white. We intercepted your first scouting probe. We've been preparing ever since. Did you really think we'd spend 7 decades just waiting? Supreme Commander Vexari watched his invincible armada tear itself apart and felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries: fear. How? He whispered. Nanotechnology, Admiral Chen explained, as if discussing the weather. Microscopic machines in every component you purchased from neutral trading posts over the past 60 years. Every circuit, every processing unit, every life support filter. They've been dormant, waiting for activation. We call it the Trojan Protocol. The great flagship, Vexari's own command vessel, shuddered as internal explosions began cascading through its hull. Emergency lights bathed the council chamber in hellish red as the Supreme Commander realized the horrible truth. He gasped, you've been watching us this entire time. Learning from you, Admiral Chen corrected. Studying you. We knew this day would come, so we made sure we'd be ready. The funny thing about conquest? It requires trust. You have to trust your equipment, your supply lines, your intelligence. We made sure that trust was misplaced. The transmission began to break up as the flagship systems failed, but Admiral Chen's final words came through with crystal clarity. Welcome to Earth, Commander. We hope you enjoy your stay. The last thing Supreme Commander Vexari saw before his ship's reactor core went critical was Earth, still hanging peacefully in space, undefended, untouched, and utterly victorious. In the end, the war that was supposed to last hours was over in 7 minutes and 34 seconds. The humans, as they had promised, never fired a single shot.